gentlemen. So we may proceed to Facebook and to tweet.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I got my phone ready.
And it's on like a scone. So yeah.
It's on like a skull. Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to everybody who's joining us. Thank you, young Chozen, for joining us. Obviously.
Oh yeah, man. Love you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time out from your family, everything, your schedules, just to let us have a chat with you and pick your brains and see what's
No
going on.
worries, man. No, all good. All good.
I'm
just tweeting and posting as we speak.
All right, tweet away. Just let me know when you're done.
Man, this is good. How crazy is technology, though? I sound old saying that.
It's just
I love it, man.
amazing. Super amazing.
All right.
So, really quickly, tell me about what started. I'm going to just interview y'all real quick.
All right, man. Throwing the ball right in our court.
What started Amplified Version? What was the dream behind that? What's going on?
All right, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take that one. And it really started off with 4, if not more, years ago. A bunch of us got saved, just some boys, and there really wasn't, the music industry really didn't support, it didn't have any Christian content, and being exposed to, you know, R&B, hip-hop, mainstream stuff that anyone else grows up on by default, whether in a shopping mall or you go buy your own stuff. There really wasn't anything out there that you could reach out to and get good hip-hop music. There was some underground stuff, but you had to dig in and find the stuff. I think at the time only rapzilla.com became our best source for anything Christian music, and shout out to them, big salute, because they fed us when we were growing. But yeah, we fast realized that they're just one team and the world has many media outlets, and we can't let them carry the load, and as much as they do that fantastically, we needed to come up and do other things. And it's not just Christian music, it's Christian art, Christian books, Christian anything. We decided to take what we were learning in our universities and that time and connect it to our faith. And they have AmplifiedVersion.com, group of young people, all with just a passion for music, particularly obviously Christian music, good Christian music, and now trying to make that more accessible to other young people who don't know where to go get it themselves.
Amen. Amen. Praise God. That's dope, man. That's what's up. I like that. That's cool. That's cool, man. And so my man, so let me see.
I'm gonna just introduce this real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just so people know. We know who we are, but some people might not know. I'm Tawanda at Amplified Version, and the green is
Ruvimbo, and I'm with Amplified Version.
Yep. Yeah. And last but not least, we got the main man himself, aka class president, aka way, aka I got this. This is me, my swag, Mr. Young Chozen.
What's going on? What's up? It's
a pleasure to have you, man. It's a pleasure to have you.
No, it's a pleasure to be here, man. Love your guys' heart.
Yeah. So where you at? Can you tell people where you at right now, man?
So right now,
we're in Melbourne.
So I'm on the west side right now. West side, Australia, that is.
Okay.
Yeah. Man.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. How you finding it in the west side, man?
Amazing. Still warm out here. We still rocking, you know. Well, you guys say thongs. We say flip-flops. You know what I'm saying? Still rocking flip-flops and T-shirts, and it's still pretty warm. You know, it's pretty crazy weather, but I like it.
Okay, that's good. It's good to hear. Okay. Well, it's good. It's good to have you in Australia, as always.
Oh man, I love it. I love it.
Loved you rocking all the shows and all the concerts you do over here, so that's good.
Thank you. And I'm gonna be back where you guys are in a couple of weeks.
Okay. We'll talk a bit more about that, because there's a few things that we had the privilege of seeing you doing live. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
we'll get it in and we'll ask a few questions around there.
Got it.
Yeah, we just wanted to say congratulations fresh off the bat on the birth of your newborn daughter.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yep. How old is she now?
6 months. She's 6 months old. It's crazy. It's crazy going by fast, man.
And how's the wife handling waking up at weird hours of the day and night?
It's been good. Believe it or not, we've been blessed, and we actually prayed for this. But our daughter has been sleeping through the night clean since 6 weeks old.
That's deep.
That's deep. We prayed. We prayed for that. So yeah. Literally, she'll go to bed around 9:30, 10. Wakes up around 8 o'clock. Balling. I'm just kidding. It's good though. I love it.
No,
it's really, it's blessed.
That's rare with kids, man, especially that age. Okay.
Really, it was Jesus reading the right books and the right wisdom, and then just positive confessions and prayers and stuff. And so she's blessed.
Okay, that's good. It's good to hear. We're going to talk a little bit more about those books. We got that on deck. We've got questions on what you're reading at the moment, what you've read, and what you'd recommend to other viewers. But yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so the first thing we wanted to talk about was Planet Shakers, man. Planet Shakers is my home church. It's not obviously Rue's from another church. Shout out to your church, Rue, man.
Love Bridge. Gotta love it.
Okay.
You're welcome, too young.
But yeah, you came and you rocked Planet Shakers conference, man. And that was my home church. You killed it all the night sessions, man. You was rocking.
Thank God, man.
Loving the freestyles, loving stuff off the album. Well, obviously not the new album, but yeah, I know actually there was a couple of songs from the new album.
Yeah, we did new stuff.
Which we will talk more about as well. But yeah, how did you find that experience? How did you find Planet Shakers?
It was an amazing experience because it was my first time at a Planet Shakers conference, and just to see the caliber, the excellence, the investment, the lights, the LEDs, and all of it, yes, can be superficial in terms to the kingdom, but it's so good to see God well done, if that makes sense. Like, it's so good to see quality presentation. Like, literally, that was just as good as, if not better than anything out there in the mainstream world. So that was really cool, just to see, wow, this is how we do it. You know what I mean? For me though, it was a great blessing to get fed and to get poured into just as much as I was putting out, I guess. Just like those were like heroes of the faith and amazing men of God, great teaching, good word, good insight. It was just a great week. And also that was the first time that since our baby girl's been born, me and my wife got to travel again as a family, kind of in a ministry capacity, because usually she was always my sidekick. And so, you know, you got to transition with the baby. You got to let life do its course. So it was cool to kind of jump in together, and it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, shout out to Miss 31 Status, man. We peeped her. We saw her from a distance, man. She was rocking that thing with the little baby, with them big earmuffs, man, just protecting the real precious years. But yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah, man. It was so loud.
It was.
I love loud music. It was loud. It was good.
I should have been louder for you because you were on stage, man. We were like way up.
Like right at the back.
But, yeah.
Oh man.
It's good. It's good. Man, it's good to have. I think for me personally, it was just good to have Christian hip hop represented on that scale, and just be embraced in a primarily a rock culture. Not even to say rock church, but just a rock culture. And yeah, for that to have its moments and in the beginning as well. And just it was good to see that collaboration. Something that we guys have been yearning to see for years. So yeah, it's good.
Thank you. Yeah, that was just really quickly, just a special thank you to Planet Shakers Church, Pastor Russell and Sam. Like, that was an amazing privilege to be allowed that kind of platform, because they don't. That's something, to my knowledge, that hasn't been given that much of a platform at Planet Shakers conference in the past. So I consider that a massive privilege and massive blessing. So yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, there definitely is. It's something on the rise, and we do have No Limits, our own Christian hip hop
Yeah, Joey, that.
Outreaches. So they've done a few things over Christmases and stuff like that. But
Okay.
definitely to get something international come in as well and represent. It was just good to see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
and just to add on, like, I actually got to talk to a couple of friends who wouldn't, I'll say from the past, who wouldn't have necessarily entertained like Christian hip hop, and just the effect that had on them. That, you know what, you can actually have fun, you can actually worship God at the same time. It's possible. Like, there's no genre to this. Like, personally, I can testify to that. Like, that was just one of the few effects.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
just you getting used by God. You had a Planet Shakers over there, so really appreciate it, man. Like,
And praise God. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a true privilege. You know, thank you.
All right, Matt, we're going to talk about, because some of the things you got to perform at that conference was a few songs off the album, the new album.
Yeah.
And we got special kudos, man. We got to get the first release, sort of official leak of the album.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was just a blessing, and obviously good to do. But man, talk to us about the album, man. You got to do music video shoots, performances, the whole deal. Just run us through anything.
Yeah, so that was it was just like the album release party for the album is actually not till this Wednesday coming up, but
Is it in WA?
Yeah, that's gonna be in WA. So it was crazy because, you know, as the album was kind of lining up and as it was finishing up, and then we got offered the opportunity, me and my wife were just like, oh man, we gotta like take advantage of this chance, this moment. And then especially for hip hop culture too, especially in Australia, like Melbourne is you know, that's one of the places you gotta kind of earn your stripes. So that was a great privilege. So yeah, it just worked out, and it was cool to kind of get a taste test of how the people would respond, how the people, you know, that was the first time really performed live on a large scale. And it was a good mixed crowd, you know what I mean? You got, you know, you got all colors, all races there, so you got like a good overall kind of a vibe, you know. So I loved it. So yeah, new music. We did new music. It was good. We did some of the classics, some of the stuff that kind of got us here from Class President, and yeah, just try to mix it up. It was good.
It was good.
I feel like you want to ask something.
No. I was probably gonna sing a song or two, but no, I decided.
Oh, okay.
I had to do that, so I'm gonna leave that to you, man. I'm just gonna leave that to you. But yeah, talk to us, man. Class President. What's the transition like, man? Coming from obviously doing Class President, which was a boss of an album, to G.L.O.W, man.
Yeah, it was a big difference. So on Class President, I actually produced and recorded that whole album myself. And so that was that was a blessing to kind of like put my mark on the world and say, hey guys, this is me. But to be honest, a lot of the solo-ness initially, it wasn't on purpose. It was kind of like I can't afford other top quality production, so I make my own stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't have the relationships to get the features and the collaboration. So you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like Class President was very much a 3-year journey of, hey guys, this is me. So growing from that, and actually also I was signed with the label while I was doing Class President. So now I'm a fully independent artist. What? Yeah. Okay. So now I'm a fully independent artist, and there's a bit more creative control to experiment and go different. So really I'd be honest with you, the main thing that really changed or that made me want to go different genre was I'll tell you, my favorite thing period is doing schools. I love going into schools. I love doing school shows because it's so honest, it's so real. They don't really like, schools will let you know if you're whack, they're gonna let you know. So basically, one day where I was doing a school show, And literally the event has not even started yet. I haven't even gone on stage. Literally, it's like 10 minutes. People are still coming in. And I just had some of my Young Chozen stuff just playing in the background, right? And I'm by the door, and I'm actually welcoming people. And, you know, hey, thank you for coming in. Thank you for rocking. You know, it's going to be a good lunchtime. We're going to have a good time. True story. It was like a group of girls and some younger students that walked in the door. They peeked their ear in. They listened. And they said, not my kind of music. Turned around and left. And I was like,
snap.
You know, like literally, I was a bit
let's talk about that a little bit, because that's actually a thing in Christian hip hop that we I don't know, maybe it comes from our belief that, you know, we don't want to crush another brother, so we won't tell them if we're not feeling their music. Like, tell us what your perspective as an artist is, because you want to hear, you would want to hear if people know or think that your music is whack so you can improve. But what do you get? Do people around you tell you, well, you know, when they're producing it, like, I'm not feeling that? Did they tell that straight away, or do they?
It's crazy. Yeah. Well, really quick, I just want to shout out to my bro George Moss, who's watching live. Another great man of God, a great musician. He's killing it right now. He has an album. He's got a dope single. You gotta cop that. I'm just shouting out my bro. It's all kingdom.
Do what you gotta do, man.
But yeah, so literally I was wrecked, man. I was wrecked because it was like I hadn't even got a chance to earn them, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like they saw me, I gave my best effort, and they're like, no, just not my thing. Literally, the genre of the heavy hip hop that was being played closed the door.
Right.
So and the thing is, I pride myself in God giving me the ability to earn supporters of people that don't like rap. One of my favorite compliments is when a kid comes up or somebody comes up and like, you know what? I'm not even a hip hop fan, but that was pretty dope. Like, that's one of my all-time favorite compliments. So for me, it was like, dang, like they don't even know if they would have liked it. So my heart is, us as kingdom people, we work at our craft. We never want somebody to shut us down before they even see what we do or see who we are. You know what I mean? Like, you're an amazing person, but it wouldn't be fair to you if I said, Tawana, nah, I don't like you. And you're like, we don't even know each other. Like, how, you know what I mean? So that's my thing. I just wanted to be able to, do the best I could to not be washed out or not to be trying to do too much, but do the best I could to appeal to all, you know, like Paul said, you know, we want to be all things to all people so that by any means possible we can save some. So I wanted to, with this album, I wanted to have a more international sound, something that would kind of almost get my foot in the door in any crowd if possible. And just with the power of electronic music right now, with the power of this party music, you know, it's literally one of the times in the world I think that the whole world is dancing to one sound. I don't think we've ever experienced that in music. You know, we've had hip hop, they've had rock, there's indie, there's been collaborations, but with this electronic music, the entire world is partying to this sound, and I think that's kind of cool. So you know, you want to be strategic with the season that you're in, I guess, and that was the heart behind the music, I guess.
And that's true, because when I listened to the album and we reviewed it, it really is an album that's easy to listen to, and it's like you don't have to be in a specific mood for a specific genre to listen to this album. I felt, whereas with some album, even some of the big albums, I have to be in the mood for hip hop to listen to that. I have to be in the mood for, you know, R&B to want to listen to that. I'm gonna just take it back though, because when I got saved, well, before I got saved, my uncle listened to Christian country music, believe it or not. Would you listen to something like that? And maybe to put a bit of reasoning why I'm asking this question isn't probably in the perspective of the two girls who walked in and just went rap, not my thing. Would you listen to a genre like that, or would you within the first 2 seconds just turn it off and go, nah, not my flavor?
I'll be honest, it's not at the top 10 of my playlist. But I do appreciate there's phenomenal storytelling in country. I think I'd say that. Like people love to be taken on a journey. And some country music writers are phenomenal at just talking about the journey. You know, I was going down the road, you know, and they're just, you know. So, yeah, stuff like that, I guess. It's like great storytelling. So I think there's, even if something's not your preference, I think there's little gems to be pulled from all styles of music.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's true though, because in as much as I didn't feel his music, I was grateful at least that he had something he could relate to in his genre, in his tastes, and what he liked with his faith. So that's sort of the thing. But I'm going to take it back to the previous question again and ask you something with relation to music production. So when you're in the studio, and you're dropping verses and the producer's not really, you know, if they're going, not really feeling it, would you want them, or do they tell you that, look, Chozen, maybe we need to take a break, come back at this, and, you know, hit at it from a different angle?
Nice way to say,
believe it or not, I just want to give a special shout out to the producers and the mixers on the album. It was actually two guys, two amazing Asians. I love them both. But Alex G.L.O.W. and then Kevin Lee Charm. But so check them out at JL Music Official and at Kevin Charm. And they both were amazing as far as just the sound, as far as the just creating the genre. But yeah, in the studio, they had to sometimes be like, hey Blake, why don't you try that verse again? Why don't you flip that up? You know, stuff like that. So yeah, you know, sometimes you got to suck up your pride, and you gotta take that, but it makes you better.
That's good to hear. Well, for those of you that might miss, their names are on the back of the G.L.O.W hardcover album for the two producers. So make sure you cop the hardcover album, and you'll be sure to get their names. There's also a lot of information there, man, with regards to the studios. Shout out to DJ Ben Hawks, who toured with Chozen. And tell us, man, about Sweatbox, because the sound quality on this album, man, tell us, man. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, you might never believe me, but I'm gonna show you the studio. Well, okay, for starters, I just want to give a special thank you to Ben Hawks. He's my brother, amazing man of God. I love him. I look up to him. He's like Yoda as far as just. He's amazing. Got to get him on here one time. But believe it or not, he actually donated. True story. We did the whole album in his garage.
Whoa.
True story. We did the whole album in his garage. He donated like a whole spot of studio space, and we had this whole room that we used for about 4 or 5 months. Actually 4 months when we built it, and so yeah, literally. And then I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna turn this really quick.
Yeah, do that, man.
This is just for anybody that thinks that you have to have top-notch studio and top-notch this and that. I'm gonna show you the recording setup I used for the entire album and for Class President.
Please do.
See if I can rotate enough. So that right there, this setup, just for this mic, foam, a little mini portable studio booth right here. I'm giving away the secrets, but literally, just this setup, my whole album, portable, mobile.
Just a little corner, no soundproofing, nothing.
I mean, when in the Sweatbox, we threw up a little bit of foam, but literally half the album we did before we even had the foam in there, because this kind of gives it. This is a great setup because it gives itself, it kind of creates its own little soundproof area, and you can take it anywhere. So kind of like, you know, one of my dreams one day is to, you know, be able to travel and, you know, go to schools or go to, you know, low socioeconomic areas and be able to take a studio right to the kids and educate young people and show them and record and bring the studio to them. But yeah, that was it right there. So the key was the mixing and the mastering, and that was just like, again, shout out to Alex, shout out to Kevin. Those guys are monsters, and just amazing young guys that are coming up right now in electronic music and just music in general, and it's a privilege and a pleasure to know those guys.
Right. Yeah, if I could ask a question, like who inspires you? Like, who are your favorite artists and why?
Man, just shout out to Andy Mineo. Heroes for Sale just dropped. Phenomenal project. Crazy.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
He's good.
Crazy. That uno seis, but anyways. Yeah. That album's ridiculous. But yeah, inspirations, man. It's funny. I mean, I have a very interesting testimony. I started out, I mean, you know, divorce home and a lot of those things, but really in my early years, I grew up around Christian hip hop. You know, I grew up in, you know, T-Bone, Gospel Gangsters, some of that stuff, like from way back in the day, like, Stephen Wiley. I don't know if you guys know him. Stephen Wiley is the first Christian rapper ever. Yeah. He did this track like on cassette tape called Bible Break, where he rapped the books of the Bible. This is back in like the late 80s, like talking about like during the Run DMC Beastie Boys. So that was really what's like the start. And then, you know, we as young men, sometimes we go and we create our testimonies. And so then, you know, when I was living with my biological father, it was more like the Snoop Dogg, West Coast Gangsters, Dre, Dog Pound, like Warren G, all that kind of stuff. That was when, like, I was in high school, and that's when, you know, 50 Cent and, you know, took over Murder Inc. and all that kind of craziness. But
I was a little bit harsh about that, actually.
Yeah, I know. To all my people that be living it. But yeah, true story. I guess in my later years, I used to love Kanye before he went interesting. Loving Busta Rhymes, loving Twista. I love people that created music. Ryan Leslie, just a lot of creative people that showed the difficulty of our craft, but still did it good. You know, I love just creative people that can inspire you. I love some indie music. You know, some Coldplay, some you know, Maroon 5. Just all kind of little genres. You know that you know, I love Timbaland's production, just stuff like that. You know, there was little bits and pieces from everywhere. You know.
So when you step in to record the album or write or do anything for the next piece that you're about to drop, do you take any of that into consideration when you're about to write, or are you going, I just want to give young Chozen the combination of all these things, or do you go, oh, I'm feeling today this track needs to show a bit of, you know, maybe Kanye young Chozen or so and so young Chozen? How do you step up to the booth? How do you step up to the writing pad and choose your lyrics?
Yeah. As of right now, I definitely try to be me. And I guess, because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm my style, but, you know, you hear them and you're like, yeah, but you kind of sound like so-and-so in the song. You know, like, if we all put our pride aside, we're all a product of kind of what we absorbed, you know. But I guess, so on Class President, and my earlier, that's why I love the fact that I was able to do so many mixtapes, because if you really go back and listen to some of my old stuff, there was so many songs where I was like thinking about the rapper and trying to copy different flow styles and do stuff. So now I am hoping that I am stepping into a young Chozen sound, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I've been rapping enough to where I do my best to not have a song where like, oh yeah, he sounds like this guy. Like I'm hoping that I'm starting to create my own voice, and that's so when I write nowadays, it's what I'm thinking about really is who I want to reach with this song. You know, that's kind of what my focus is. I guess as far as I'll play around with different word plays or associations, rap fast, rap slow, let me go simple, let me be technical. But nowadays, not so much am I thinking about, oh yeah, let me try to bring a little bit of that essence. You know what I mean? Because I believe that we have a God of unlimited inspiration.
Yep.
And I believe that if we can tap in, I believe that we can be the trendsetters, not the trend followers.
Yep.
That's what I believe. So that's where so I'll be honest, and I'll say, and I won't front like, oh yeah, I'm just my original style and it's just all me. Like I'm not gonna, play games, but that's my heart's desire, is to be something authentic that's a unique, you know what I mean? I think especially Christian rap, I think it's been too full of, oh yeah, this song sounds like this guy. Even when you look at some of the Christian magazines or websites, they actually have comparison charts where you can pick a secular artist and see who they have that it's in that. I don't like that. I think that our God can sell himself, and if we can really tap in.
Shout out. Yeah, I actually, as a fan and as a follower of Christian hip hop from early, baby Christian days to present day, which might still be the same baby Christian day, but I know, in as much as I love original artists, people who, just have own unique style, and you go, yeah, today I feel like listening to them, and they're Christian, and that just there's just a place for that, and I love that because it connects into the heart of God, like you're saying, because we serve a creative God, like you're saying. But on the flip side, I do love some of the stuff that you guys done on mixtapes, and other Christian hip hop artists that have done on mixtapes, where they've taken a worldly beat and given a Christian content to that. And I know
thank you.
The Christian hip hop market now moves away from that, and they go, oh, we don't really want to do that. But I feel a lot of young people are still exposed to that world music. It's easily available and stuff like that, and they don't necessarily. They might be exposed to it. They might feel the beat, but they don't like the content on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I start listening to it because there's a hook that's catchy or what have you. And shout out specifically to the stuff you've done with Hop.
Yes, my bro. That's my bro.
I like the track that you did on. You took Jay-Z and Kanye's Power, and you just hooked it up. You guys killed it. But yeah, talk to us. Is there space for that in Christian hip hop still, or is that just strictly mixtape stuff? Is that just a single to keep people interested? We would love to see more, but talk to us what your perspective on that is.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, mixtapes goes back to the core and foundation of hip hop. From the early days, they were sampling Motown and creating beats. When they first started scratching with records, like taking other people's beats and making them into something new is as early as the first rap song ever. Like it all goes hand in hand. So for me, it's sometimes an object of debate in Christian hip hop or just hip hop period. But for me, what it does is like you said, it gives the listener something familiar to catch their ear, and then once you got them in, then they hear your new style, you know what I mean? So when we go into schools, especially, you play like with my most recent mixtape, like the Nightlight Mixtape. That was one of the most powerful outreach resource tools I've ever been a part of creating. Like literally with that mixtape, we helped lead over 3,000 young people to Jesus and counting in like a 7-month period. So for me, it was because of those cover songs. You're doing the remixes. The people they can kind of it's familiar to them. They can dance. Sometimes they can sing along. Some of the songs we were able to keep the essence of the main hook, and then you bring that light into it, you know. Like, I love it. And really, that's what's really helped me as an artist spread, you know, because of the internet, because of the YouTube. All those mixtapes have just, people have reposted them and re-uploaded them, and so it's like the saturation for me has been quite phenomenal. And literally people every day find out about me because of those mixtape tracks or some song, you know, from the 6, 7 free projects we've done in the last, you know, 3 years. So I love it. I think it's a vital resource. Any aspiring artist, I would encourage you to do mixtapes.
Yeah.
You know, and just to touch really quickly on the whole debate of, oh, well, it's secular music and that's the devil's music. I mean, we know that as Christians, when we walk into a room, the presence that we carry and the person that we carry in us can change and purify any situation. So if God can take me, who was a sinner, if he can come into my situation and change my life, anything I interact with, as long as I'm being led by God, I can use as a tool and as a resource to reach more people. So that's my personal feelings on the matter.
Okay, I think that's a good place. Sorry, Ru, I know you had questions for him right there, but I think
absolutely go for it.
It's a good place to segue into one of the most popular, most buzzed about debates in the Christian hip hop markets, in the Christian music market. What's your take on? And I'm gonna read this, make sure I'm not gonna get this wrong.
All right,
yeah, Christian rapper versus rapper that's a Christian. And for those that may not know, I might just explain a little bit where Christian hip hop has been for a very long time. The content has been very, you know, God, Jesus. Every second verse, every chorus hook, what have you, has had some reference to God. But some rappers have felt that sort of boxes them into a certain genre. And like you said, like in the case with the girls, walks into the room and heard rap and turn away. Some people, when they just hear Jesus or God, just switch it off and don't listen to the rest of the production, no matter how amazing artistically it is. And so there's been sort of like almost like a split in camps where people have been trying to go, no, the art form is still the same. It's just my beliefs behind it are different. Yeah, tell us what your take on that is.
Yeah, I mean, so this is I'll be honest, and I may lose supporters on this one, but I'll be real. It's sad, but only, I mean, in all the world, pretty much Christianity is the only religion that has created its own genre in every aspect of life. There's Christian cookbooks, Christian bookstores, Christian schools, Christian music. There's literally, we've become so Christian that nowadays a Christian can actually live their life never impacting the outside world. Literally, you can actually live your whole life in a Christian bubble, you know. And so in reflection to Christian hip hop and our craft, at the end of the day, we're all on the Great Commission, which is to go out into all the world, preach the gospel, all nations, make disciples, blah, blah. Like, that's at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, right? Would we all agree?
Yeah, affirmative.
So in our journey to follow that commission or to live out that commission, I don't want to do anything that would jeopardize a lost soul possibly getting touched by the saving power of Jesus Christ. So as you guys even hear me talking, I'm unashamed of God. I am a minister as well. I preach sermons, I travel, I do altar calls. So I am completely unashamed of the gospel. But believe it or not, on the entire G.L.O.W album, you will not hear Jesus, God, Christ. You will not hear any Christian term once. And now Christian hip hop people will be like, you know, like
actually, actually was going to ask that later on, but you just answered it. Maybe you can talk on it.
So, but the thing is, that album is still changing lives. That album is still getting kids saved, because the thing is, I wouldn't be able to go into the state schools, the public programs, like literally 70% of what I do would not be possible if I did traditional Christian hip hop. Number one.
Talk to us about that a bit.
Yeah.
Because in America, sorry to cut you off, man. In America, you're not allowed to say the word Jesus in school. Is that correct?
Yeah, even in Australia, because of there's so much atheism, and there was that whole attack on chaplaincy, and they're trying to shut down chaplains, and so it's all over the board. But basically, they don't want to use government money, school time to advance a faith-based gospel. So some schools will say, well, you can share your personal experiences, but you're not allowed to convert people. But you already know that sometimes you can go into a school, and as soon as you mention Jesus, God, Christ, Christian, anything, kids already have a preconceived notion of what they think that is. And again, before your music has even had a chance to earn their respect, they tune you out. All Christian music, they put you in a pocket. So I am unashamed of who I am. I am a passionate Christian. My passion is not even Young Chosen. It's not even rap. My passion is to be a minister of the gospel first. Rap is the tool God has given me in this season. But to be honest, I don't like being pocketed in that, especially when you're going into schools, because kids immediately tune out. They immediately tune out. And so, I don't really care about the debate as far as, well, I don't want to be seen as uncool or whatever. My heart is, I don't want to lose an opportunity to reach a lost soul before I even get the chance. That's my heart. So, in that perspective, and when you think about it, there's no other anything in the world that has this debate. Like, if you guys are going to university, if you guys are getting a degree, if you want to be an engineer, whatever your profession is, you would never walk up to somebody and say, hey,